All right, all right, all right. What's up, wild ones? Nikka, Karli here, and we are dropping in to, well, Starbucks. We're dropping into Starbucks, and this is, my dad sent me a link that said how Starbucks was letting their employees know that they are not allowed to do anything, wear anything, any pins, any shirts, anything at all that says that they support Black Lives Matter. And this is, and in their statement, in their company memo, they let people, oh, we support you. We understand that this is such a hard time, but we don't want to be divisive. Now we want you to bring your full self to the workplace as long as you abide by the dress code and don't cause any divisiveness in our stores. And other employees, lots of employees have come out. I don't have numbers. I don't know. I just saw the article, which was confirmed by the media company spokesperson, people, whatever team from Starbucks, that this was indeed their memo that they sent out, saying that employees could not wear anything or indicate in any way that they support Black Lives Matter. This is, and employees came out and said, well, Starbucks allows us to wear things for pride. And specifically, one of the Black trans employees stated, like, yeah, we're allowed to do stuff for pride, but we're not allowed to do stuff for Black Lives Matter. So the fact that they, and we all know that if you say, hey, if you walk in and you've got stuff on that says you support pride, you're potentially in danger. You're potentially, going to be the victim of divisive things happening in Starbucks. And it's it's an interesting thing, isn't it? It's an interesting thing. I have been a Starbucks fan, not necessarily of company policies, but I am known to drink a mean soy chai latte for years and years and years and years and years and years. I've been drinking. I've recently switched over to Intelligentsia, which is way better. Anyways. Just saying, you can order it online from LA. Just saying, if you want some good chai and coffee, all the good stuff. I digress. And but I had been a Starbucks drinker. Like, I went to Starbucks as, it was kind of like one of my office places. I went there to write. I would sit there for hours and hours and writing and blogging and doing website stuff and doing client work and all the things. And I had my spot, and I went there forever and ever and ever. And last year, I wrote a blog, wrote a blog about it. I like to hear it. Here you go. I wrote a blog about it last year about an assistant manager there, a white guy, redhead, who was going on and on very loudly, quite vocally inside of Starbucks, had all of his employees gathered around and was telling them how it was impossible that he was racist because he had red hair, and how he knew what it was like to be a victim of prejudice because he had red hair, and went on and on about how his family hadn't owned slaves, and how and so it wasn't his fault, and he just didn't understand what people of color even wanted, and like we would just, like, people of color just needed to let it go and kind of do whatever, all this shit. I wrote a blog, you can read it. It's called The Denial of Privilege. And after that point, I couldn't bring myself, I could not bring myself to go in and hang out at Starbucks. It wasn't, dude, it didn't feel good. It did not feel good to sit there and support them, right? And they sure as shit did not support me. At some point during this monologue of the white employee went in, or went up to them and was like, dude, this is offensive. Like, you need, like, you have to stop saying this shit. Like, come on. And some of the employees that he was making listen to him were employees of color. And if you think that it's a stretch to say that he was making them listen, check yourself, check your privilege, read the fucking post I'll post it in the description. But it goes into this deep trauma that bodies of color hold around having a white person who is in a position of power over you, or just a white person in general, start talking about things around race and spewing their privilege onto you and their fragility and expecting you to back them up and agree with them. Because if you didn't, and if you don't in today's day and age, bad, horrible, horrific fucking things happened. Look at what happens. Look at what happens when bodies of color disagree with white bodies and challenge white bodies in their own fragility, in their white fragility, in their white privilege. Horrible things happen to bodies of color when they challenge it, especially if that white body is your employer. And so the bodies of color, the employees of color, they were like, oh, like they were not excited to be in the conversation. They were just like, yeah, oh yeah, like you having red hair. That's the same as me. Yeah, the same as me being a person of color. Totally. Yeah, great. Oh my God. And so anyways, I even spoke with one of the employees of color afterwards, and he was explaining like he was trying to extricate himself from the conversation, couldn't do it, and it was just like he felt so bad, and it was like he didn't know what to do, and he was all this shame and like just fear in him, and like this is what happens when you pour your privilege and when you pour your white fragility onto people of color and expect them to back you up. What happens when they don't, it is systemically encoded into us that horrific things happen when we don't agree and go, yeah, yes, boss, oh yeah, yeah, you having red hair, that's the exact same thing as being in a black body in America. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, of course. Of course, it's people of color. It's their fault that they haven't explained it clearly to you what they want. Of course, it's them. It's their problem. Horrible things have happened. Horrible things do happen to bodies of color when we dare to take a stand for our own lives, to take a stand to say that, yeah, like our lives matter, Black lives matter. And I hear so many creators who are actually doing their work, beginning or have been doing their work, coming out and trying to explain that by saying Black Lives Matter does not mean that we're saying like nobody else matters, only Black people. It's simply saying that like, no, all lives don't matter, like until Black lives also matter, right? Like you can't just say like all lives matter, except, I mean, you can be killed on sight for the color of your skin, but like, hey, don't complain about it because we like love and light to everyone and human, and we don't see color in all of these things. No, it is simply that everyone matters. Of course, everyone matters. And also, for fuck's sake, that's not the issue at hand. Saying Black Lives Matter does not mean like nobody else, you guys suck, like we don't believe you have rights. No, we're saying like, yeah, we see you have rights. And it's the concept, the actual statement of saying all lives matter, it's not true until Black lives also matter. And so this is a call to arms to really check yourself. And Starbucks, what the fuck, dude? Come on. It even denigrates the fact that you allow people to wear pins for pride. But this is really like, you're like, oh, but I mean, like, we don't actually want you to wear them because we don't want anyone to, to feel bad. Like, we don't want to cause any divisiveness. So I mean, company policy says you can't wear them. I mean, I guess we'll let you wear a pride pin during 1 month a year, but like, watch yourself, watch it, right? Like, I mean, come the fuck on. So yeah, Starbucks, we're done. I'm sad to say, except I'm not. Like, it's an amazing thing. And when my dad sent it to me, I was like, oh, is this about the prison thing? Because oh my gosh, someone who was it? Tell me. I forget. Someone shared around, Portia, I think it was Portia, shared like a link to like all the companies and who are still supporting prison labor, to get like their customer service done, to make things for them, blah 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 blah, and that Starbucks was still on that list. And it wasn't like, oh yeah, Starbucks did this 20 years ago. It was like, nope, Starbucks is still on this list for supporting whatever American company, think tank, organization, makes it happen, makes it so that prison labor, like very cheap or free prison labor, is able to make companies millions and billions of dollars. And maybe you're like, oh, but they're prisoners, like who cares? Well, like again, we get to go back and look at the fundamental human rights, and we also get to go back and look at, and I am not the one to have prison stats. Like I don't. There are many other abolitionists and activists who really have like strong prison statistics. Like, yes, I do not, but I do know without having an actual percentage. You can go check out like grassroots law. They always have great percentages around everything. Sean King, Lee Merritt, Esquire, around all of these things and everything else, all the things around social justice, but a very high percentage. God, I feel like the first time I really heard stats around this was, I don't know, 15, 20 years. I don't know. It was a long time ago. And it was like 90 something percent of prisoners like on death row in solitaire, like in like horrifically like high charged environments and high charges, you know, like what they were charged with, were Black and Latinx, right? And you get to look at like, so using prison labor, like it definitely has to do with racism as an institution, as a systemic issue, because if the majority of the people who are now having to do free labor and having to make things for these companies that make billions of dollars off their back, and then once they get out of prison they can't even go and vote, like yes, it is also tied in with the system of racism. God, like I feel like this is this is one of those things that it's one of those things where companies are able to get by. They're able to do these things. They're able to have these policies. They're able to say like, no, we can pretend behind the scenes that we care about our employees. We can pretend that we care about our customers. We can pretend that we're creating an environment of inclusivity, and we can do diversity trainings, which in and of itself, I mean, like, come the fuck on, like the majority of which are simply patsying to white fragility and saying like, hey, this is like, if you just don't say the N-word or don't make jokes about Mexico in the break room, then you're good. Like they don't actually change anything. They don't shift the inherent and harmful biases that take place in families, in corporations, in all over the place, in cities and countries and blah 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 blah. But it also goes to show, like it's a wake up call to just look at like, where are you putting your money? So yes, this calls for systemic racism, the change, actually becoming an anti-racist and abolishing a system that oppresses and kills Black lives all over the place, kills Black Indigenous lives, yes, kills Indigenous lives all over the place, takes Black and Indigenous women, sells them into sex slavery and all kinds of horrific trafficking situations, and no one documents this, no one talks about this in the news. It is a system that, that like we look at where we're contributing money to companies that do contribute their money, their time to organizations that support the horrific atrocities that happen to all bodies of color, like and we get to look at. So yes, abolishing the system, yes, doing our work as anti-racist, and also look at where you're putting your money. Look at where you're putting your money on a regular fucking basis. And are you supporting companies like Starbucks who have blatantly come out and said, you may not, if you work for us, indicate in any way, shape, or form that you support Black Lives Matter, because we don't want people to feel uncomfortable. Basically, your statement, your memo to your company that says, we support you and we know that you're having such a hard time, you know, being Black right now, except these are not the words. This is not the exact words. You can look at their memo though, saying that we support you in all of these ways, except really what we support is white fragility, and not making anyone who's white feel uncomfortable by having to look at your pin or your shirt that says Black Lives Matter. We don't want that. Is more important to us than how we say like you matter to us, employees, and your experience matters to us. Like I call bullshit. Starbucks, I call bullshit. And yeah. I even had, when I wrote the blog last year, I had one Starbucks employee reach out to me, who was from like a, managed a different branch in a different state. And I was like, this is not what we stand for. Like I do diversity trainings for Starbucks. This is not the company wide memo. And And I believed her, right? Like I believed that she was trying, she was on the front lines trying to make a change. And also like if it's only in one branch, one location of a huge global and dominating monopoly of a company, it has to become systemic change. We have to create systemic change. And so this is an invitation. I'm done railing. This is an invitation for you to look at where you're investing your money, to look at the companies that you're like, oh, fuck, I really love them. And I have to do this myself. Like I'm calling myself in on this as well, looking at companies who like, and I'm not gonna go into other companies because I don't have enough, like I don't have enough. I don't have enough on them, but really, to make a statement that I feel like called to make right now, but specifically around Starbucks and every other company that you're supporting, and to look at, okay, is this actually in alignment with me being an anti-racist? Is this actually in alignment with who I say that I am? Social justice and liberation for all, or just liberation for the few? Like, what am I taking a stand for, and where am I investing my dollars into what I say that I stand for? And so this is an invitation to really look at, yes, do your anti-racism work, you're studying, yes, hire a mentor, yes, go deep, go fucking deep into your own abolitionism and abolishing the systems and the systemic racism and the encoded racism and the internalized and inherent racism that is living in your own body, that's living in your family, in your community, in the way that you run your business. Yes, look at all of these things. And also another step is to look at how you're investing your money into the infrastructure, into the system of racism in and of itself, and whether or not that fits with who you say that you are, right? Like, does it or does it not? And then making the changes accordingly. That's it for today. I love you. I love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Share this out with all your friends, all the peeps who are committed to doing this work. I'm tired, y'all. This is a bit of a sleepy live stream, but I'm tired, and I know a lot of you are also tired, and white folks who are feeling tired from like having 2 weeks of this. Like, yeah, I know you're tired. Keep leaning in, keep doing the fucking work, keep showing up, because a lifetime of this and generations of this is multiple lifetimes of 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 fear and pain and genocide and colonization and systemic abuse and atrocities. And I know that these 2 weeks have, like, you're feeling tired and you want to talk about something else. Yeah, we get it. So do we, except this is our fucking lives. And it's nice to be able to talk about other things. And please, like, yes, I'm not saying every conversation you ever have in your life has to be about being an anti-racist and about abolishing the horrific atrocities that happen to Black bodies and to people of color. And also notice that it's privilege, the fact that anyone gets to talk about anything other than this. And also, like, I want to talk about other things too. Shit, like, I don't want this to have to be everyone's life every fucking day, walking out the door, that you have to know. Shit, even being in your own house, that you can just be, cops can come in and just murder you and get away with it, and then just like have a completely blank report, that cops can have, your coroners are going to lie and be like, oh, like, it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with having a police officer kneel on his throat for damn near 9 minutes. Like, it had nothing to do. Nope. It was underlying conditions, and he had COVID. So I mean, that was probably what crushed his wind. But like, come the fuck on, whatever. Okay, asphyxiated him. Let's not. Yes, but still, whatever. Semantics. The point is, I'm tired. I know a lot of you are tired. And I'm going to invite you to keep leaning in, because the work is not done. The work is just beginning. And so take care of yourself. Do what you need to do to continuously take care of yourself. Do the nervous system support work that you need to do in order to keep taking a stand, to keep leaning in, to keep noticing who the fuck you're being and what it is that you say that you stand for with your life. And notice the white privilege, notice the white fragility, Black folks, Indigenous folks, people of color. Notice your own internalized racism. Dude, this shit runs deep. Notice your own anti-Blackness and how that's been internalized and encoded into your body. That shit runs fucking deep. And keep showing up, but take care of yourself. Continuously keep coming together with with each other. Like, we get to do this work together. You're not alone. And any of the fear and any of the shame and the trauma around being who the fuck you are and having and living in the skin that you live in, we get to support each other through this. But please, 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 please continuously take care of yourselves. I know this is tiring. I know this is exhausting. I know this is trauma living and playing itself out on the global stage. And also, there is still more work to be done. There is so much work to be done. So please take care of yourselves and keep leaning into the fucking work. And Starbucks, this is, we're done. Fucking done. If you just miss it, if you watch the, or, oh my good God, see, tired. If you missed the beginning, go back and watch Starbucks blanket statement in their memo around not allowing their peeps to support and to show their support around Black Lives Matter, but blanketing their support of white fragility in a support of keeping their, making sure their employees have a good environment. So go back, watch this from the beginning. I'm tired. You're tired. Keep leaning in because the work is just beginning. I love you. Keep taking care of yourselves. Oh my God. Oh my God. I have some magic shit coming for you. It's called Rewilding for Revolutionaries. It starts in July. You'll have some amazing info coming soon. It will call you in and call you into the depths of your own fucking abolitionism and your anti-racism and what it is that you say that you stand for in the world, and turning your message, your magic, your madness into a platform for systemic fucking change that is coming. And if you know that you're ready to start doing the work, you can sign up for a bundle I just dropped. It's called Embodied as Fuck. You can go to embodiedasfuck.com. It's just embodiedaf.com. And it has a ton of like the deepest fucking transmissions and tools and ceremonies that I've created over the last few years to help you really, really, really drop the fuck into your body, take care of your nervous system so that you can do the work you're here to do. We also have a live ceremony tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific. So if you want to get in and you want to join us live, it's a dark Eros Tantric trance ceremony. It is the first of my erotic nights ceremonies. So get in on that now, embodiedaf.com. I'll probably keep it open, the bundle open for a few days because I just dropped it yesterday. But it's probably going to, like, it's going to close on Sunday. So if you want to join us live, make sure you enroll before tomorrow. And if you just want to get the bundle and have the replay of tomorrow, make sure you enroll by Sunday because then it's going to disappear. So I love you. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. As always, fuck. Here's to your untaming. Go do the fucking work. Do the work. We need you. We need you. Keep showing up. Yeah. All right, loves. Bye, well done.